thanks for participating. Saw a lot of actual interaction over Memorial Day weekend, which I thought was pretty cool. And you know what to do, right? Like if you're watching this on Facebook, do me a favor, leave a comment, click the like button. That way I know you're here and this stuff is actually relevant to you. And more important than that, if you could please invite a friend, just go into the Generate Facebook group, go up to the upper right-hand corner, invite a couple friends who are entrepreneurs, fully commissioned, basically anybody who needs to build a relationship or lead generate for a living could benefit from this group. And if you're watching on YouTube, I don't know what you do. You click the like button or the subscribe button or the thumbs up or something. All right, cool. So Scott Groves, we are reviewing this book right here, Lead Generate, 61 Days to Double Your Pay, because even in places like California and Michigan that have been kind of the most draconian with their lockdown, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, we'll know in several years when somebody writes the post-mortem on this pandemic. But even in places like this, we are starting to see businesses reopen. Churches are going to reopen this weekend. Salespeople are going to be able to go back to work. People are going to be able to start reopening their business, generating leads, generating business, and having an economy to come back to. And that makes chapter 8 in my book probably more relevant than ever, because chapter 8 in my book, which is just a few short pages, because I don't claim to be the expert on this, is day 8A and day 8B, which is stay healthy physically and stay healthy mentally, right? I just go here. I said, over the years, I've coached thousands of loan officers through a self-assessment exercise created to evaluate where you stand in different areas of your life. If you've ever been to a live personal development course, you've probably seen some version of this wheel that I'll show you guys in a minute. I've seen it labeled in several ways, some of which are trademarked, so I won't get into them here. Wheel of life, pie of life, yada, yada, yada. Basically, if any of you have ever been to a live event, you've probably seen something. Let's see if I can get it in frame there in the picture. You've probably seen something along these lines of like, evaluate, 1 to 5, 1 to 10. How are you doing in your family, your friends, your relationships, whatever the case may be? And what I find interesting about the wheel is that when I take all of the people that have actually done this exercise and I poll the audience, the area that shows up as the number one drag on salespeople's ability to lead generate, start their day, take care of the business that they need to take care of, the number one drag is about 75% will put physical health and about 20% of people will put mental health. So what does that mean? Apparently salespeople have the ability to come to work, put their heads down and lead generate when things aren't particularly good at home, with their finances, with their friends, with the community at large. Sometimes even if they're getting divorced, they can come in and kind of just put their head down and work. Like those things aren't either mentally draining enough or they're not top of mind and present enough in your daily activity that it prevents people from lead generating. However, what I have found is that when people's physical health isn't where they want it to be, as a business owner, as a salesperson, as a lead generator, that few extra pounds, that lack of exercise, that lack of mental clarity, it starts to just weigh you down in your ability to make the calls, right? And it's kind of the reverse compound effect. For any of you that haven't read The Compound Effect, absolute must read by Darren Hardy. It's about how we get incrementally better every day. But sadly, the reverse can happen, right? So it's like you start drinking one too many sodas, and then that leads to like one too many burgers, and then that leads to a couple extra pounds, and then that leads to not working out, and then that leads to a drop in energy, and then you miss a couple of days of lead generation, and now this is your new habit, right? And trust me, there's been seasons of my life, recently, as a matter of fact, where I've gotten out of shape, put on the extra pounds, eaten shitty foods, done all the things you're not supposed to do. And what I found, not surprisingly, is that when those things are happening, you end up not making these connections and these calls and doing the right thing. So look, I don't claim to be the expert on physical or mental health. As a matter of fact, below this, we're going to link to 3 interviews we did previously last week, actually, in the Generate group. And Danielle, if you can make a note on today's video to link to the Alex Hayden and the Julie Riesler and the Michael Alvarez, the three people. Now, these three people, they live, breathe, sleep mental health and physical health. So what we'll do is we'll link those 20, 30-minute interviews in the comments down below. But trust me, like, not only do you want to be physically and mentally healthier right now due to the fact that we're dealing with a pandemic, and the pandemic, despite where you fall politically or what you feel about the lockdown or what you feel about COVID-19 across the board, it is indisputable. God, barely graduated high school. It is indisputable that if you're healthier, you have less of a chance of being affected should you come in contact with COVID-19, right? This disease, sadly, goes among, spreads like wildfire amongst the most vulnerable of us. So there's so many reasons for yourself, for your family, for your community, for your longevity against a pandemic to stay healthy, both physically and mentally. So check it out. We'll link to some additional articles. And just know, like, if you haven't been particularly healthy physically or mentally over the last 2 or 3 months, and I understand how hard that could be with gyms shutting down, the easiest access to food is something fast on the go. Being stuck in these same 4 walls all the time can be a drain on our mental health. I understand how easy it is to get out of that rhythm and get into negative physical and mental health routines. I've been there myself a million times. But I would say today, Tuesday, after a weekend of maybe barbecuing and excess and a few alcoholic beverages, maybe today is the day that you start to make those incremental changes, do better, and focus a little bit more on your physical and mental health. So that's what I got for you. Again, we'll have some great interviews linked in the comments below. If you're watching this, please do me a favor, click the like button, leave a comment. I'm doing this purely for altruistic purposes, my little part to hopefully help people get back to work and making money again. And I just want to know that somebody's watching for purely selfish reasons. So let me be an altruist while also being a little selfish. I love you guys. We will talk every day at 9 a.m. Talk soon. Bye.